Okay, I actually think I need to go back and start playing Genshin again. This is coming from somebody who I was late to Genshin, and I kind of stopped playing just after I finished Inazuma. Never really got into the end game, and I'm not really that bothered about coming back for things like endgame. Anyway, doesn't interest me. But this new stuff that they're showing off with Genshin, I am very much interested in. They're doing something here which we rarely see in gacha games, in my opinion. The only game that I really feel kind of does an expansion and evolution of the gameplay truly is Arknights, where throughout chapters, events, the game can feel entirely different because of stage mechanics and mechanics that they add in and kits with characters, but mainly stage mechanics. It really does change the way you play the game. And they're kind of doing something here, which as somebody who loves games like The Division, third-person cover shooters, this looks sick. This genuinely looks sick. Let me just show you this here. Like, I'm sure you've seen this going around. I want to show you the, Luna gameplay as well. And we're going to talk about some jobs that have been posted. This was like a while ago. I spoke about these a long time ago. But it kind of just... it gives more credit to the potential that we are going to see a hero shooter sort of MOBA game coming from HoYoverse, which could be very exciting as somebody who's a big fan of Deadlock. If it was anything like that, I'd be a big fan of that. But check this out here a second and tell me this isn't sick. Because I think this looks really cool. I've seen some people complaining about this, right? We're going to turn it right down because we're not bothered about the audio here. We're looking at the fact that we've got third-person shooter gameplay here, and it actually looks pretty decent. Like, it looks like it's even got Overwatch hit markers as well, which is kind of interesting. But it looks like proper, actual third-person gameplay. If HoYo came out and made a good PvP, PvE, third-person shooter, hero shooter, I'll be so down to play that because I love games like that anyway, and I'm a big fan of something like The Division. Like, I've been saying for a long time, man, if we could get a third-person cover shooter in the gacha space and it was done well, it would be huge. Not that this is going to be that, the game that we're talking about, but this looks so cool in Genshin, this does. Let's check this out. See, like, the hit mark, that's very Overwatch, right? Like, even the kill there, that's straight up, like, that's Overwatch, right? I'm sure those hit markers are Overwatch. Like, the gun actually looks kind of cool as well. And we've got, like, genuine, nice, little tight slide cover mechanics as well there. Kind of nice. Look, you can't tell me that's not an Overwatch hit marker, right? Look at that. That's very reminiscent of Overwatch, that is. But this looks fucking cool, man. Look at this. We've got a charge rifle. And here we see the weapon. Obviously, I don't know if this is a different weapon or the weapon just can be modified. It's a grenade launcher. We see here as well, we've got like, they look like a grenade, sorry. I don't know if these are abilities or what, but do you see what I'm talking about when we're talking about like hero shooter stuff here? Like this looks really cool. This is what I mean when we talk about genuine gameplay evolution within gacha games. Most of the time, gameplay evolution means we're adding a new game mode that's pretty much the same thing with slight tweaks. Maybe there's some different stats or a gimmick for the mode, and that's pretty much it. Or the game's different because a new character's drop and the meta changes, but really, you're doing the same thing as you were always doing, just with a different coat of paint. But this here, now, I don't know how expansive this is going to be. This is probably just for a particular story mission, I'm going to assume, but this is fucking cool, this is. I like this. I like the fact they're doing a whole different thing here. Now, I know some people hate on this just for the sake of hating on it. I don't know why, though, because this is what you want from live service games. You want iteration, you want expansion, you want change, you want things to adapt, right? You don't want to be playing the same game on year 1 as you do on year 6. Now, I know there'll be some people out there who say, well, it's took on this long to change. Whatever. I don't want to get into that. I want to get into that this looks really cool. And it takes me on to talking about this here. So, join us, UE5, realistic shooter pre-research. So, military sci-fi, hardcore shooting, UE5, technology-driven, AI+, currently in active development. Stay tuned. Join us for an Unreal Engine 5 3D MOBA, fair competition, multi-character PvP, Western stylization, UE5. So this is what kind of makes me think here, you know, multiplayer, co-op, sandbox, fantasy, AI. And then we see this, you know, this just screams to me that they've got the jobs up for this, right? That they're making a 3D MOBA game. Is it gonna look something like this in terms of the gameplay? Or is this just HoYo doing what HoYo do when they're like test bed stuff within the games, whether it's through a mini game and then they expand on it at a later date? This looks like that's what we may be doing here, right? And I'm all for that. I'm all for using IPs you've got running now to test ideas for new stuff. I've said this before. It's one thing I love about Arknights. I love when companies are willing to take risks and throw stuff at the wall. Sometimes it won't stick and it will suck, right? But looking at this looks really good, actually. This looks genuinely like nice gameplay, in my opinion. As somebody who enjoys third-person shooters, it looks cool, right? And I like what they're doing here. Just want to quick point out this as well. Like, the moon looks kind of cool also, right? Like, some of the footage that they're showing of the moon, like, actually looks kind of cool. Anyway, I'm less interested in that. I am very much interested in this. Like, I'm so far behind, though. It will take me forever to get to this. But this looks genuinely, actually, really cool. Like, we've got little, if you look here, see the health pickup. So this screams to me straight away that they could easily adapt into having an arena-type shooter, right? Whether that is a MOBA, a hero shooter or something like that, having health pickups and different pickups around the map to buff your characters, shops to go back to purchase your items, to then go back out onto the field to the lane and stuff, whatever, however they want to do it, right? But looking at this all genuinely looks kind of crisp, if you ask me. Good slide mechanics. We're obviously able to freeze enemies here. Love the hit markers. This all looks really nice. You know, got headshot indicators as well by the looks of things. So we've got a grenade launcher, we've got a rifle, we're able to freeze people, we've got slide mechanics, we've got cover mechanics, we've got actual grenades that we appear to be able to throw as well. Like, this all is really awesome. Like, now, you might not be into this sort of stuff, right? And you might hate Genshin, but you can't tell me this isn't the sort of gameplay iterations you want in a live service game, right? Now, it might be an iteration that you're not the biggest fan of. Maybe you don't want to go from a action RPG to have sort of third person shooter mechanics in, which I'm sure this is probably just a small segment of the game, right? But man, if they could have like some sort of dungeons into Genshin now, where you're doing this sort of stuff, you know, throwing a bit of like a looter shooter sort of element where you have to pick up stuff and that I don't know, you cash in at the end to get a scoreboard or whatever it might be. But this looks genuinely, I think this looks good, man. Like, props to HoYoverse here for trying something different. Like, honestly, I'm really hyped about this. It just sucks that I'm so far behind in Genshin. Like, I don't know. Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to start playing Genshin again because this looks cool to me. And actually kind of makes me excited for potentially stuff that HoYo are working on. Again, I know it's the cool thing to hate on HoYo, right? But I've never had that, like, sort of emotion connected to HoYoverse. I've got no ill will towards the company. At the moment, I'm not currently playing any of their games, but it's not because I think HoYo suck or the games suck, right? I'm not that person. I know it's a cool thing to do nowadays. It's in thing to shit on HoYo, right? Because they suck. HoYo are terrible. But I don't feel like that, right? So this, to me, seems pretty exciting. They're working on potential third-person hero/MOBA shooter games. They're recruiting for that sort of stuff. And some of this stuff is kind of old, actually. Like, I remember talking about the 5 games that they were working on over, mate, it's probably like 2 years now. And we've seen Varsapura, we've seen the TFT game, we've seen that fantasy one that still hasn't been announced that's called Nodus Fall or something. I forgot what it's called, but they've actually registered the name now, actually. And Varsapura's actually got copyright software authentication now, or whatever it's called. So we might get some news about Varsapura soon. But back to Genshin. This actually looks kind of cool, and I would definitely be excited if HoYoverse were working on a third-person shooter hero game. I'd definitely be down for that. This gameplay looks kind of fire, though. I'd love to know what you think. Are you on that train with me that this is the sort of iteration you want to see in games? You want to see them change, right? I'm not saying remove the other parts of the game because that would be ridiculous, right? But having this addition of new ways to enjoy the game for me can only be a good thing, right? variety, and variety is the spice of life, right? But yeah, guys, I'd love to know what you think down below about the Traveler running around like it's Gears of Impact, right? You know, we're in the Division Genshin style now, right? The Genshin Division 2 Impact. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think down below, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra.